is always talking, and he even narrates his own nonsense. She gave the example of him dropping his pencil and in class and loudly announcing, "Oh look, I dropped my pencil. I have to pick up my pencil. Look, here's my pencil." Apparently, even his inner monologue even needed an audience.
That's so true.
But honestly, one of the best things about Lucas has always been his sense of humor. He could recite the best quotes from TV shows and movies and somehow work the most random lines into the most inappropriate times. He kept us all laughing growing up. Well, laughing or occasionally wondering how one person could talk this much. The funny thing is, Lucas has always laughed the hardest at his own jokes. Even when the rest of us were rolling our eyes, he was absolutely convinced he was the funniest person in the room. And to be fair, sometimes he was. Oh my gosh. Auden, you probably, you grew up with him, you know. So my apologies to Tressa, who now has to spend the rest of her life enduring endless Family Guy, King of the Hill, and Simpsons references. And this is partly my fault, but mostly my fault, because these are my favorite shows, and Lucas learned very early that he could make me laugh just by randomly quoting them.
Of course.
For example, one Christmas Eve at church, one of my coworkers walked in with his wife. She was a very petite woman with jet black hair, quirky glasses, and a very unique style. Lucas immediately leaned over and loudly whispered, "No capes." For which, who are unfamiliar, is an Edna Mode reference from The Incredibles. To this day, I still cannot see that woman without hearing Edna Mode in my head. No capes. I knew Tressa was going to fit into this family when we were on one of our Mexico trips, and she started roasting Rick so hard that I literally began keeping track of the comments in my notes app. Roasting Rick has been one of our favorite family activities, and Tressa blended right in. Honestly, it was impressive. Smooth delivery, excellent timing, very professional level work. And that's probably what makes their relationship work so well. Lucas finally met someone who could match his sense of humor, keep up with him, and give it right back to him when he needed it. Which brings me to the story of how these two got together. Now, Catherine recently told me how Lucas and Tressa started dating, so forgive me if I get a few details wrong. Catherine, this is your fault. You told this story, okay? So apparently back in high school, Lucas decided he wanted to date Tressa. Tressa, however, did not exactly share his enthusiasm. In fact, she was so unconvinced that she convinced Catherine to go to a dance with him instead. Most people would probably have taken the hint at that point, but not Lucas. He kept asking her out, and she kept politely declining.
Politely is the wrong word.
They just wanted to be friends.
The two of them stayed in the same friend group for years, always hanging out together, mostly in our basement. Yeah, right. That was the party area. Then came the 2020 lockdown, when suddenly everyone had way too much free time and way too many people to talk to. Somewhere during all of that, Lucas finally wore her down, and Tressa said yes. And honestly, it's kind of the perfect story for them. It's the classic book boyfriend storyline. The guy falls first, stays persistent throughout years of rejection, and in the final chapter, somehow gets the girl. So we want to welcome Tressa to our family. Although truthfully, it feels like she's always been part of it for a long time. So welcoming her almost seems unnecessary. Maybe instead, we should officially welcome Tim, Tara, and Tucker into our family too. So we've been so blessed to get to know them over the years, and we truly enjoy having them in our lives. Lucas and Tressa, we are so happy for the both of you. Your relationship is built on friendship, laughter, loyalty, and the ability to put up with each other's quirks, which honestly is one of the strongest foundations a marriage can have. So please, raise a glass to Tressa and Lucas. We love you both and wish you a lifetime of laughter, happiness, and absolutely no capes. Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers!